People call him kind. They say he's hardworking, generous, a great man. And you sit here quietly thinking, well, what am I seeing? Because that's not my reality. That's not who I'm experiencing. And then Father's Day comes around, and while everybody is celebrating him and expecting you to celebrate him, for you to go above and beyond, you're still trying to figure out, what am I allowed to feel? Because the truth is, your reality does not match the narrative everybody else is talking about. Welcome back to Unpacking Me, the parts of trauma no one talks about. On today's episode, we are talking about Father's Day episode, and our topic is He was everyone's hero except mine. Growing up with a father the world loves. I am your host, Nikki Cameron.
And I am your co-host, Myrna St. Jean. Ooh, this is a good topic.
Yeah?
I'm excited about this.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm a big daddy's girl.
What? You are a daddy's
I am
girl.
a daddy's girl. Until he disappointed me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That fast. Huh?
That fast.
Yeah, let's talk some more about it. Let's talk
Yeah.
about what that does to a child, right?
It does.
So the piece of it is that, especially in, I'm not saying this is not unique to many families, so I'm going to talk about Caribbean families and the
Yes.
context. We're going to talk context for a little bit. Black families, Caribbean families. I'm sure most other ethnicities and race can relate, right? But I'm going to talk about my experience for a little bit in context. So in the Caribbean growing up, in Jamaica, in my community, right? I knew that from what I saw, the boys were treated differently.
Of course.
The boys got to do certain empowering things that were boyish or manly that a girl couldn't do. And when a boy would do certain things, or a man, when they become young adult, it was praise, right? But if a girl did it,
you being bad,
we're
fast,
bad, we're sluttish, right?
Yeah, there was so many
Okay.
double standards.
Right. What I appreciate is that my mother did not subscribe to some of those things, right? Like, she believed if the house needed to be clean, everybody is cleaning.
Cleaning is a right of
Boy,
life.
girl, where everybody is cleaning, no matter what gender you think you are. Everybody is
clean this house.
Right. And so what happens though is, over time, a lot of those young boys develop to be men, and the idealizing and idolizing of being a boy and a man, it continues. It doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop.
So I remember when I was growing up, my father, oh my God, my grandmother, his mom, everybody idolized him. So I started to idolize him. And that is very common in a lot of situations. And I also want to bring in religious perspectives. You know, people like to talk about the man being the leader of the house, the man being the priest of the home when it comes on to some religions, right? And so this is reinforced over and over again in messages. Here, the man's the provider. So there's this painting and grafting of a man almost being godly, a god, superhuman. And children can't help but to interpret it that way oftentimes. But the reality of it is, when you're so used to witnessing as a child the male figure in the home being idolized and idealized, then you start to internalize that and you start to do that, right?
Yeah.
And when it doesn't match the reality of things, when you start to get older, that creates significant dissonance in your brain.
It does.
Their reality isn't matching, or my reality isn't adding up to the stories I'm hearing or the things I'm hearing people say, right? So then eventually, what many individuals start to do is they start to question themselves,
right?
Instead of taking a look at the behaviors, because children typically don't do that. Children don't have the capacity to sit and reason and say, okay, a lot of this is bias, a lot of this is culture, a lot of this is whatever it is. Children don't do that. It causes this grafting and believing of things that are from a distorted lens, right?
Yeah.
The most harmful piece of it is when that child starts to say, if everybody says he's good, then why am I not feeling loved by him? Why am I feeling disconnected from him? Why am I feeling that he's never there for me? And if he's always showing up for grandma and everybody else, why is he not showing up for me? Right? The worst part is when that father has children outside of that relationship, right? So they're what we call them step siblings. And the child now or half siblings, right?
Right.
And now the child hears references about how amazing the dad is with those kids, or if he's living with them, then that starts to create this narrative of the child internalizing the blame.
The blame. And I think it's fair to name that this happens not just in female children, but also male children.
Oh, absolutely.
This is all around.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
So I can't even tell you how many times I'm having to hold space for my healing partners. I call my clients my healing partners. And in the midst of this, having to invite them to slow down, and I'll say to them, hey, I don't know if you realize it, but I see you idolizing your father, idealizing your father, as if to say, because he neglected me or abused me, that determines my worth. And in my father, right? So fathers sometimes don't realize the important role they play. Because if my father, the person who everybody's worshiping,
Right, because there's this idea that fathers are everything.
right, is doing things that cause me harm, it must be my fault. So then we sometimes children become young adults or adults who project that into relationship with themselves and others, wherein if I wasn't worthy enough for my father, then it must be that I'm not good.
Right.
And the world might be seeing me as not good
Right.
enough,
Right.
right? And then because I don't believe I'm good enough, that gets reinforced in my behaviors.
Right.
How I see myself, my belief in myself, a lot of times based on how I believe I'm being viewed or how I was treated by my
My
father.
father, right.
And then it starts this shame-based identity. We start to use the shame as humans, a lot of us, we start to use the shame to make sense of the pain that we're experiencing from this behavior. You know, so that's just kind of my take and a snippet of my experience in dealing with it in the work that I do.
Actually, I've seen it in real, like in before my face. I have a friend when her father died during the funeral, everybody was saying such wonderful things about him.
That
It was, oh
funerals,
my
yeah, that
word.
can be a tough one.
And he she has a brother outside of the marriage between her parents, and this brother stands up in the middle of the funeral, and he goes, "Who the heck?" And I'm being nice, right? Because I'm censoring myself.
Yeah.
"Who the heck are you guys talking about?" He was like, "I sit here and I hear you guys say these wonderful things about my father." He was like, "This is some BS." And he turns around and he walks out.
Yes. And then
And
people
and
judge
people
him
judge
for
him.
it. Yes. Yes.
And but he was like, "This is not the man I know."
Right.
And he was like, "I'm leaving."
Yeah.
And he
His
left.
reality was
Was
not
not
matching the stories he was hearing.
exactly.
And we see that happen all
All
the
the
time.
time.
The performance, the
Oh
hypocrisy.
my goodness.
And that starts to cause people to reflect on the fact that he wasn't there when I needed
Right.
him. Right?
It's the public versus the
Yeah.
private. It's
Yes.
in public, this is who he was,
Right.
but in private, this is who he really was.
And that contrast it stays with
It
you.
stays with
It
you.
literally
Yeah.
lingers in your DNA, in your body, in your mind, in your whole being for a lot of people, right? Because I don't ever want to generalize,
Mm-hmm.
but that's a
It's a
deep
lot of people's
wound, a
reality.
deep emotional wound
It
that's left behind.
because it's emotionally minimizing. It minimizes
Y-
what you're
Yes,
experiencing, the
yes,
emotion behind
yeah,
that. It leads to deep self-doubt
yeah,
at
yeah,
times for
yeah,
some,
yeah.
and difficultly in I've noticed that it leads to difficulty trusting your own perception of reality,
Absolutely,
because
absolutely,
am I wrong for
absolutely,
feeling that I don't
absolutely.
like this man,
Right.
but everybody is in love with him?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I think a lot of the times we don't realize that, and I think I always think of that experience at that funeral because he's acknowledging his truth,
Mm-hmm.
and other people are calling him or naming him like
Now
as
he's the
that
problem.
is the
Mm-hmm,
problem.
mm-hmm.
And so it leads to this idea of understanding, like, if I acknowledge my experience, my truth, am I going to feel
I don't get to
betrayal?
own my truth.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm gonna downplay it. And I had my friend, she turns to me and she says, I wanted to walk out too.
yeah. Of course.
And there's that trap
The
of the
worst,
public versus the
yeah,
private.
one of the worst things that families do,
Mm.
and I've experienced it personally as a child as well, is you see in your reality that
Mhm.
you are being constantly neglected
Yes.
emotionally. You feel it. You're the
Mhm.
one experiencing it, and yet grandma or mom are telling you he's your dad. You need to fix it.
Father God.
So now it's your responsibility as that child, that teenager, that young adult. You are constantly being put in a position
To fix
of
the
fixing
relationship.
the relationship that your father's behavior has fractured. So then oftentimes a lot of adults grow up taking full responsibility and accountability for
For
their
the
father's harmful behaviors, thinking I'm trying to fix it, but my father won't do their part in fixing it or his part in fixing it. And I still feel guilt. Like I need to keep going. And something I hear over and over again, well, what, especially when the parent is an elderly person or
Mhm.
older, is, what if he dies? I don't know
I
what
don't
I'm
know.
going to do
Look,
with that guilt.
so many times I hear, I don't want to be left with that guilt because I can't change him,
Right.
but I have all this shame and guilt that goes with the relationship with him.
So you know what that means?
What?
That then means you then begin
Mm.
to betray yourself.
Mm. Because your truth feels like a betrayal.
You then begin to betray your reality,
Mm-hmm.
yourself,
Mm-hmm.
for the purposes of not looking bad to the family or the friends who are telling me that I'm the child and he's already my father and I need to fix it.
Yeah.
We are so preoccupied with trying to manage people's perceptions of us or perception of us and the image management, that we betray
Ourselves.
ourselves, our reality, just so we can preserve how we're viewed with people. And that creates conflicts
Mm.
internally.
Mm-hmm.
The nervous system doesn't know what to do
Mm-hmm.
with that, right?
Yeah.
I'm now having to neglect and betray my reality, my own needs, for someone who oftentimes is not repentant.
Mm.
So my identity gets shaped around the abandonment or the
Mhm.
neglect.
And I think a lot of people don't really realize this, but that goes throughout your entire life. It goes with you. It
It
can go
can,
with you.
absolutely.
Because some adults, for some of us, it looks like overachieving for validation.
Mm-hmm,
Because of that,
mm-hmm,
my identity is shaped in absence.
mm-hmm,
I'm trying to overachieve so that
mm-hmm,
I can get validation from the one person I need it,
mm-hmm,
but I can't get it from him.
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get it from everybody else.
Right. You're reenacting the dynamic.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then there's this idea of struggling to be chosen,
Oof.
and that's big.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Right. So you never learned to choose
You,
you because people told you choosing your truth was not okay.
yeah,
And that's where a lot of people pleasing tendencies come in,
yes, you
because
hit the nail on the
you
head.
were conditioned to abandon yourself and choose other people over your own needs. And or you were guilted for it and told that you're being selfish.
Yes. Oh, that selfish word is a
Now,
big
now
one.
you're being selfish.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
That selfish word,
Yes.
that
Now,
S
now you're
word.
being selfish.
Yes.
No, you have a right to be self-focused, but many individuals didn't learn what that feels like energetically, internally, didn't learn what it means to say no. And so no feels like danger to the nervous system. I don't want to feels like danger. And because of our innate need as humans for connection and a sense of belonging, community, a lot of times as individuals, we betray ourselves over and over and over again for the sake of, I don't want to deal with the loneliness. I prefer to deal with suffering.
Right.
I prefer to betray myself
Mm-hmm.
and neglect myself because at least I'll have
I
community.
have community. And I always say, unless you understand what you're responsible for and what you're not responsible for, when it comes to self, it's
Yeah.
difficult to have a healthy
Yeah.
community.
Differentiation, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's difficult to have a healthy community.
So then we also
Mhm.
find that you will accept inconsistent
Oh,
love.
that's a big one. I run into that a lot in my sessions.
Yes, the wishy-washy. One minute he's
The
there
next
as my
minute,
dad, the next minute he's not there. He shows up and then he dips out. He shows up. So my nervous system learns to view love as inconsistency.
yes.
My nervous system now starts to equate love as something that is inconsistent or transactional because that's what I'm used to experiencing. Right? And the nervous system thrives on what is familiar.
Yes.
Familiar doesn't equal safe.
Yes.
Familiar doesn't always equal healthy.
Yes.
I'm going to say it again.
Say it again.
Familiar doesn't always equal what is safe. Familiar doesn't always equal what is healthy.
That happens
for
all
you.
the time.
And so people don't realize that unconsciously they are replaying a dynamic that maybe started with their fathers. And then you end up in a relationship with maybe a man that's emotionally unavailable
or men
or
some
abusive or dismissing of your reality. Or then you start to treat you start to make you end up in a relationship that with someone that is good and doesn't necessarily have to be a man, right?
Right, because it can happen both ways.
Right. So then you end up in a relationship where you now start to avoid the disappointment associated with the emotional neglect. You do things unconsciously to sabotage a relationship with someone who genuinely wants it to work. Because if I disappoint me first,
then you won't get to disappoint me.
or if I abandon me first,
then you don't get to abandon me.
right. Or if I continue to reinforce the feelings of I'm not worthy or good enough by telling you you're gonna leave me, or I do things to pick fights with you, right? Then that's familiar.
That's familiar.
My nervous system is used to that push and pull, inconsistent dynamic.
Creating my own world.
Yes,
Pain.
that then starts to feel an unhealthy familiar sense of safety that is distorted.
Wow. Isn't the human brain and nervous system amazing?
It's disturbing.
It is it's amazing. Amazingly disturbing.
It's disturbing sometimes, right?
Yeah, it is. It really is. And so I encourage us at this point to start to look at ways that we can reclaim our own sense of self. We can reclaim ourself, our reality. And like we always say, healing starts with the truth. And
We're facing it.
facing your truth.
That is scary as hell
Very
sometimes. It
scary.
takes a lot of courage.
I always say to my clients, this is going to hurt. It's going to hurt, but we're going to do it together. Because when you have to face the truth, sometimes the truth is very painful. And so that's a hard thing to do. But if we're going on the journey of healing, like we always say, it takes a level of learning how to face that truth for ourselves so that we can begin to heal from that experience.
Absolutely.
And it looks like understanding that two things can exist in the world at the same time. I always give this example. Sometimes it rains when the sun is out.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah, sometimes
This is true.
the moon and the sun are out at the same time.
Right.
Two things can exist in the world and not contradict each other. They can just be these two truths that exist. He could have been so good to others, and still fail you.
Yeah.
That
He,
exists.
he can be a good man who's a terrible parent, has terrible
Parenting
parenting
skills.
skills.
Yeah. He could have been very loving to others and not so
Neglecting your
good.
needs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Those two things exist.
Mhm.
Can exist in the
and
world.
and you get to be angry even
Even
though
though
you
he,
love him.
yeah,
You get
yes,
to be angry about his
yes,
behaviors
even
even though
though
you
you
have
love
love
him,
for him.
yes,
And the anger doesn't have to cancel out the love. Accept your reality of things radically and realize that you don't need to stifle your truth, gaslight yourself, deny your truth. And other people disagreeing with your reality does not make your reality untrue.
it's your experience.
Yes,
Your reality
yes,
is your experience.
yes, yes, and must be
It
acknowledged.
must be acknowledged. No one can take your experience away from you.
Absolutely.
It belongs to you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition to that, it's really when if you're someone wanting to develop or repair the relationship with your father, the first thing I would say is ask yourself, are you holding on to potential dad?
That's a big one.
Are you holding on to potential version of dad, fantasy dad in your head?
Fantasy
And
daddy,
struggling to accept reality
reality daddy.
dad. Because
Mm-hmm.
in my mind, I want him to be this version. I wish he could
Mm-hmm.
be this version. I long for this
Mm-hmm.
version of him, the healthy, nurturing, kind, emotionally present, honest, consistent one, fantasy based,
Mm-hmm.
potential based dad. But I'm struggling to radically accept that this is who he actually is. This is how his behaviors are.
That dichotomous world that
Right.
we, yeah.
It's important to accept that. So it's important for you to ask yourself, who are you holding on to? Reality dad or fantasy dad? That's number one.
Mm,
The other thing is, how do you want to show up in the relationship?
yes.
Not how mom or grandma
Expects you
says or your friends. How do you want to show up in the relationship? Do you even want to
to
have a
be in a relationship.
relationship?
Right.
Are you willing to do the work to repair it? It's important for you to be honest with yourself, right? Does he want to do
I
the
was just about
work
to
to
say,
repair it? Because he might
he
not
might
think
not
he
want.
has an issue. He might not see his behavior as a problem. And there's nothing worse than being in relationship when trying to repair with someone who's not repentant.
Mm-hmm.
If I won't repent, it means I don't think I did you any harm.
Right.
And if I won't repent because I don't think I did you any harm, my behaviors will keep harming you.
And so it's okay then to repair with yourself at times.
Yes,
Do the repair
grieve.
with you.
Grieve that
Yes.
loss. Grieve it.
Have yourself in a place where you're able to
Yes.
navigate the relationship
Yes.
in a way that works for you.
Yes. And I always give people this exercise. I say, get a sheet of paper and write down two lines.
Mm-hmm.
Column one, you write the person's name. So
Mm-hmm.
dad. Column two, cost of being in the relationship. So
Mm-hmm.
column two, costs, and column three, benefits.
Mm-hmm.
What is it costing you to continue to function in the way you're functioning in this dynamic with your father? What is it costing you to continue to try to preserve this relationship? Okay. Column three, how is it benefiting you and him from being in this relationship?
Mm-hmm.
If the cost is significantly outweighing the benefits and you're the one walking around consistently getting
Getting
harm,
all the costs.
then it's time for you to evaluate if it's time to love from a distance.
Mm. And that's okay. And that can
Yeah.
exist in the world.
Yes.
And you could still long for him.
Yes. But it's important for you to radically accept your truth even when others reject it.
Wow. Fathers are very, like mothers, interesting people.
Yes, we shape our
There's a
children's
lot.
reality.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Community starts at home
Yeah.
with your family. And if you, as a father, are not showing up, no, I'm not saying you need to be perfect. There's no perfect parent,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
You will do things that cause distress or harm to your children.
Be ready.
What's important is that you're willing to repent, do the work, to do the repair, own it, and not gaslight your children, right?
Mm-hmm.
Admit that you feel embarrassed or ashamed, but when your child brings something to you that is causing harm, and instead of taking a look at it, you allow pride and your ego to override it, then what you're doing is reinforcing the damage or the wound that was created. And saying that's just how I am and I'm not going to change for anybody.
It's okay to change
That
sometimes.
is a level of ignorance.
Yeah, it's okay. It's
Right?
okay to acknowledge that we've caused harm because
Yes.
no one can say that they
Yes.
haven't caused harm.
Yes.
Even the best of person.
Unintentionally, people
Unintentionally.
will
Yeah.
intentionally cause harm, and people will also unintentionally cause harm.
Yeah.
What's important is that if you were not trying to cause harm and your approach still caused harm and your behavior still caused harm, that you are willing enough to
And
be
humble
humble
enough. Yes,
and
humble.
own that the impact of your behavior hurt
Yes.
this person, right? And so people might say, well, what if the child is harming me? That's another episode. Right now, we're talking about the fact that as
The father,
fathers,
yes.
performing and being idolized and viewed one way out there, and in reality, your child is experiencing you as there's living hell, a nightmare in their lives. And this is shaping their whole reality, their whole sense of self, their whole being, because of the crucial role fathers play in the lives of their children.
Yeah.
You know?
It's true. So this Father's Day is coming up, and you may be listening to it while it's already here. So happy Father's Day. And if it's coming up while you're listening to this, it's coming up. But I also want you to remember that you do not have to rewrite your story just to make other people comfortable.
Nope.
If the experience with your father wasn't the best, you're allowed to honor your truth, even if it doesn't match the celebratory experience that is happening in the world at that moment.
And
it is okay to do that.
Yeah, and you can also grieve. Longing for a relationship with your father is okay too.
Yes.
Even if you decided it wasn't best and you now need to love from a distance, it's okay if you feel grief. Don't try to deny that you still miss it and long for it, right? Because then you're denying your truth again.
Right.
It also makes space to admit that I can miss and long for a relationship with my father and miss the parts of him that were good to me. But I understand that I need to be self-focused and choose health, good mental health, good physical health, because the relationship was causing me more harm than it was
good.
Right. And that's okay.
That's okay.
And whatever you do, you get to be in Father's Day and recognize it your way, in a way that feels healthy and meaningful for your reality.
Say that again, emphasizing the healthy and meaningful for
You
your reality.
get to be in Father's Day your way.
Your way.
You don't need to celebrate it because everybody else is. It's so commercialized anyways, right?
Commercialized.
And if you are not celebrating it, use the day to do what feels right and honoring to your reality in a way that is healthy and safe and true to you.
And that is the truth.
Yeah.
That is the reality, and that is your God-given right. That is your right as a person.
Your choice is your power. Choice. Yeah. Yeah.
And with that being said, this was a beautiful episode. Please share it with those who are aspiring fathers, those who are fathers, those who you know need to hear this.
Yes.
So that we can begin to make a little change in this big, big world.
Yeah.
And heal. Yes. If those you know who need to heal from their father wound.
Yeah.
I always talk about mother wounds, but there are father wounds too.
Oh yeah.
They run deep.
Yeah.
All wounds run deep.
Yes.
And I want to say happy Father's Day, and be kind to yourself because you deserve it.
Yeah, happy Father's Day to the ones who are showing up and doing the work despite how hard it is.
Yes.
But for the rest of us who are fatherless, you get to do you your way on that day, and no other way that is safe for you. Until next time, be kind to yourself because you deserve it.